There it is.
There it goes.
You got it going.
That's on.
It's on.
Wow.
You should tell Kathy Lynch that that's remote is failing.
The remote is failing?
It
Apparently.
must be because I tried both ones.
Remind me to turn it off.
Do they have
Yes.
batteries on them?
Welcome to the
Yeah, that might be the problem.
April 23rd Finance Subcommittee meeting. I'd like to approve the minutes from the meeting of March 24th.
So moved.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. We'll have to do the minutes from April 9th when President McCoy is here. Mayor's communications, anything, Mayor?
No, I think you have enough on your agenda for one night.
Well, it's
Well, actually, we don't.
We
This
don't.
is all...
public speak. Nobody's here for public speak. Under continuing business, the first items, the 28,000, the 75, the 10, the 15, and the 60 were all approved at the last meeting, but Councilors Rist and Kwasinski were not here, so I left them on the agenda in case they had any questions. I don't know if you have any questions, Dan. They were approved, and I've already set public hearings. And also the 11,700 for the fire vehicle. So if you have no further
I
questions,
don't have any questions on any of those.
we'll move on to the $15,000 for CPA funds to continue historic records preservation. Clerk Lumber.
Well, you've got all the information that I gave to the CPA committee, and it's basically the same as we've been doing. I think this is the this will be the fourth round. This is, we start with, well, I had two options, and they went,
With the
approved
bigger
at
one.
15,000. So this is the first of the marriages. You know, you've seen them all.
Right.
So
And
this is
all
for-
those boxes that are downstairs, all that stuff that's being...
Oh, that's nothing to do. These are all in my office.
Oh,
These-
those records, okay.
These are the
These are death and marriages.
death
What
and
was that
marriages.
when we went to see those? What was that all about?
Oh, that was for the shelving.
And we got the shelving.
Well, we got some of the shelving.
Okay.
There's more shelving to be
How many
asked.
more rounds are there?
For this, this puts us pretty good. I do have a batch of marriages that are big and fat, and that's probably one more. But this brings us up to 1951, 46, when we began a different kind of binding system. So, you know, you can actually take them out of the books more easily. And we could actually kind of buy sleeves and do that ourselves if we really wanted to. These, the problem is they're all bound in here like this.
Right. And then we-
So they're casing them in plastic.
Yeah,
that's
it's
the-
pretty simple. So if somebody comes in right now for a marriage certificate on these, I just take it out and put it on the photocopy machine. As opposed to this one where you have to like squish it and it, you know,
Well,
they're
also
not protected.
preserves them.
Yeah, these are archival quality sleeves that protect them. So, and you know, it's pretty basic, but it's, believe me, when somebody comes in for a certificate in one of these books, I'm much happier than when it's one of these. It's just easier.
No, it also keeps the records.
You can see what the linings are right there.
And I know Barbara did say that theoretically, at least if we want to going forward, you could do it, or someone could do it almost ourselves. 'Cause the
starting
next
after
time-
these, the 1946 and 51, you know, that range, they're different posts that we can take apart, and I can buy these sleeves from University Products in Holyoke, and we could just start doing it ourselves.
Would it be less expensive going forward, though, do you think? I mean, like,
Well, they are pricey.
I know that they're,
Yeah,
right,
they're-
but I didn't know
the
if,
sleeves
because
and
it's
the-
easier to get them out, if they would be able to do more years for the money or something. I mean, I don't know. I guess we'd have to ask.
Yeah, I mean, I could do them myself, but the little things that we buy, that we put them in now, and the books, I mean, they're not cheap.
Right.
They're not cheap.
I'm just curious, do you put them in sleeves when you do new ones now?
We do.
Great.
Yep, yep.
So
All the
the-
ones that we have now are all in the sleeves, and they're in, you know.
When was that, Barb, do you know offhand? I mean, like,
When was what?
that you started doing them in the sleeves yourself? Approximately.
90s.
Okay, oh, so that's, so we
Yeah,
had several
I've got
years.
a lot of deaths from the 1980s and early 90s that are just a mess. And those were actually the ones I want to do first. I meant on my own.
On your own.
Yeah. Yeah, nowadays we put them, all going forward, we put all of our copies in. The archival quality, we put them in sleeves. Yeah.
Where did you get the binders, Barb?
Well, this is from the company that did all of these. They're from Browns River. There's a company in Holyoke called University Products, and they specialize in archival quality stuff. And that's where we get the binders that we use now with the Mylar. Yeah, that's.
But that company provides their own.
This company, these are different, and they do all of the,
The
they do
fancy.
this stuff. Yeah.
I know the CPA was very supportive of it.
This is all CPA money, there's no...
It's all CPA, no, it's all CPA.
I certainly will move to approve it.
Okay, I'll second it. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. 0. While we have Barbara here, just quickly, and I mentioned it, Dan and I, but I wanted for the public record, Barbara started providing some stuff for us to start comparing, which is also on the agenda, reviewing elected and stipend salaries in the city, which is part of our function in the first year of a new term. And she has provided some cities that we can start comparing facts with, and obviously it was just applied tonight, so we'll probably handle, take up a more detailed discussion after we get through the budget, in a month or so. And we do have, theoretically, after the end of the year, I believe, Dan, right, by rules. We just have to complete it the first year. And you may get more in.
And I included all the email responses back because there's a lot of additional
New ones.
information. There's some places pay everybody. And I just thought, rather than trying to put it all in the spreadsheet, I just put the basics. And like some of them, like here's Gardner, in Woburn, they had like long list. And a couple of them had showed that the mayor's salary was going to be going up incrementally. I think that
They
was
passed it,
Woburn.
it goes up to 123,000 now.
Yeah.
Should move to Auburn.
Well, the most interesting thing I thought was I got the response from Worcester, and they said the mayor's salary was $34,000. And I was like, wow, that's not... So I wrote back and I said, is this right? He goes, they have a city manager form of government.
Right.
Their manager makes $196,000, and the mayor is the president.
The council, right, because I know that's, the
didn't-
So he doesn't
lieutenant
have
governor
anything
was
about
the lieutenant governor was the former mayor of.
He's not managing the city, so that's a big difference.
That's pretty good, though.
Right.
We better tell Joe how much.
Yeah, tell Joe you get the.
But anyway, so.
Anyway, thank you for-
And this sheet was actually
This
done
top
by
sheet was
the
before?
clerk, the city clerk in Fitchburg, but it is from December 2000.
A year or year and a half old. Okay, great.
At least the one.
But it's a.
It's a start, right,
Yep.
absolutely. Thank you, Barbara. Anything else, Dan, you want to? Oh, go ahead.
We had some stipended employees ask us about increasing their stipend during the budget process, and I sent them to you if you've been contacted
Okay,
by
I haven't been contacted, so.
Who would they be?
If you,
cemetery.
Okay.
if,
In fact, I think that would be a good thing if we asked all of the people we currently stipend if they think they are deserving of any increase, just to see what their reaction is. Because
We don't
last
have
time we
very
did
many.
this,
I know Barbara and I had
Yeah.
kind of a basic
Right.
discussion of who might be stipend, and we weren't,
well, there's the planning board and the zoning
Well,
board.
this was a non-stipended position.
right, they want to become
They wanted to
stipend,
become
right?
stipend.
Well, I
The
guess we
licensing board
could.
had asked at one time too, remember?
Well, the license, some licensing boards are paid.
But we can certainly look at, but again, if they come back, or if you have a list of any that during the budget,
Just
I'll
that
contact
one,
them if they,
Just that one.
I think it would be good to contact all boards
Any of
and
them.
He
committees
spends a
and
lot of
say,
time, a lot of personal time and travel time. doing
I remember the
things, so-
discussion last time, Dan,
oh, well,
was that there was some discussion of the fact that they don't get reimbursed for babysitting, things like that,
Right.
and that they could submit that, which creates a huge
Easy.
process for them. So I might be willing to do a little bit so they can cover the fact that if they have to get a babysitter, they can pay it just to come to the meeting. I mean, it's volunteer, so, I don't know, I'd have to look at it.
right. We'll
If people, we should write to all the boards.
Right, maybe we can write a thing and send
Somebody
it,
ask you to do that?
say,
Or, do you
Yeah,
know?
we had done it. I remember JP.
a while ago,
had
right? Yeah, I mean,
something
this was
about
before I came on. I
that.
think
Well,
it
no,
was-
this was the last time we had
Terms
this
ago.
discussion
Right.
that actually did anything. I think the council got raised at that point. That was years
That
ago.
was, yeah, that was before my time.
That was
council
good.
and
That's
school
BC.
committee went up at the same time.
BH, before Hagan.
That was the year, Barbara, that the licensing board had asked to be stipend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
think
was a
I
long
still
time
have,
ago.
I think I probably
We
still
were in
have
this
that.
building though,
We were.
so it's probably
Yeah.
like,
I remember JP
19
had
years
something
ago.
to do
Gee,
with that.
okay. We can, as I said, we'll work through it, and certainly I have no problem contacting me.
Well, we should
Get
find
in
out
there.
how they feel, but that doesn't mean we're gonna say yes.
That's right. At least talk to
There
them.
there are at least a couple here that they,
We're not
They
talking
came-
much money here,
yeah, that actually wrote
not for
down.
little stuff. Which other one we're doing now?
Tonight, we just have, the only other one we have, Dan, is the, under new business, interdepartmental transfer of $7,000 from building operations miscellaneous technology services. And that, I will ask, I guess, the mayor or the finance director, is going from streetlights or power to, is that Barry Small's division, or no?
no, those are both my budgets.
Oh, they're both your
The
budgets.
streetlights is one of my budgets, as
Okay.
is building operations.
Mhm.
And what happened is I actually have a little, a little bit of leeway in streetlights. That's why I, pulled it out of there. And that's due to the solar credits that I get on the utility bill and streetlights, for all our streetlights. But what happened in my building operations budget, as the council knows, the budgets are tighter than tight. And in this fiscal year budget, it was not, there were things that were put in the budget that were not accounted for, which happens from different times. We ended up taking on the Council on Aging, so the building operations budget has always included the utilities for Town Hall, 32 Payson Avenue, and 50 Payson Avenue. This year, it includes any of the services also for Town Hall, for the Council on Aging. Elevator inspections, you name it, whatever happens there, miscellaneous professional services, if they, have heating problems, air conditioning problems, lighting problems, whatever. So that is one thing that wasn't really taken into consideration when the budget was prepared. The other thing is, when we opened the building on Friday for the schools, we did the work to the elevators to make it safe so it doesn't security purposes, doesn't stop at any floor other than the second
Oh, I see,
floor.
you have to go right from,
So that was an expense, obviously, that wasn't planned, and also the security cameras in the hallway for that. And so those were things that weren't planned on, they're just unexpected add-ons. But this year, January 1st, all our utility bills, just Western Mass Electric rates went through the roof, as did natural gas. And as you know, it's probably one of the coldest winters and the longest winters we've had in a long time. So we're just tight everywhere. So that's the problem for my shortfall.
okay. Dan, you have any-
But you have no problem with the streetlights, you're fairly confident that'll make it
Streetlights,
to
I
the
should be
end of the
good.
year?
Yes,
Okay.
and that's easier to determine. That only has really the largest bill that comes in every month is for all the streetlights. And it actually had a large credit on it, which we adjusted in December, so now it won't have such a high credit, but it has enough to pay, the next couple of months. So I feel confident that I can take the money out of that budget. But it really is utilities. And the other things that we've faced in this building is we've been hit in 32 Payson and 50 Payson with enormous bills for our boilers and our cooling condensers. There's just been a lot of repairs on them. Like
Well,
at
it
least-
sounds like it should be more than 7,000, that seems low.
Right.
From what you just said.
Exactly. So.
Oh, good.
It's sort of a related question. I know at one time, like, maybe it's still true, like it gets, maybe you could, because you're on one side of the building and the mayor's on the other part. But isn't it sometimes like one side's cold and the other's hot, and the other side's hot, and the other side's cold?
Is it
We've just.
depending-
Depends on where the sun is.
Right.
Right.
My office normally used to be like 82 by about 10:30 a.m. and they would be sweaters, so it's just one of those things. I think we've all just kind of grown accustomed to, you can't plan for it, you just make the best of it and do what you got to do. But we've had a lot of,
Well, I know how much gas bills have gone up. I can't believe my gas bill's still high.
yeah,
I used
And you're
less
still
gas than
heating.
last year,
right.
and I still paying the same amount.
There was a huge increase January 1st, and that's, and of course,
More gas in the United States.
Right.
This is all.
I was using less gas last year, Dan. This was a cold winter. Do you just turn the thermostat down? or do you
The
make-
month.
Not that I want to get into your
The month
own
of
budget.
April, I used, well, no, I looked at last year, I
Just-
used less
just-
terms for this last bill, like, they called it April, but
I
I
see.
guess it ended in mid-April. March, maybe last year was warmer.
and I'm also out of money for Parsons. But the council is working on trying to, as quickly as possible, get that building to surplus so that hopefully we can avoid the next heating system. Season. But
6 months ago, sorry.
we're still in the heating season. It's like
It's still
20s at
wet.
night.
You can't
Right,
cut it
so-
off.
Well, when you say you're out of money for Parsons, that doesn't mean you shut off the heating plant, is it?
No,
Okay.
that just means that my building ops budget, because that's paid out of that too.
Do you have enough?
Hopefully with the
With
transfer,
the
I'll
transfer,
squeak
you're
through.
including Parsons?
Yeah, and it just better get warm real fast.
Yeah, hopefully, we got to have a turn pretty soon. Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, I'll second it. We have a motion, a second, to approve $7,000 interdepartmental request to be transferred from streetlights to building operations. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
2-0. And I think
H-A-G-A-N.
A-N. And I believe that's, other than the budget, we started talking about that. I guess we'll leave it as those dates that I have.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to write them down, so it's May 14th.
Yep, May 14th, May 28th,
28th.
and May 27th.
Do we have anything else coming, the
I don't,
27th special for schools? Do we have anything coming down?
there is
the
some
pipe?
other stuff on the school night, but that, when I
We're talking
said,
about appropriations.
I don't think we have too many, but
I do have a few more that I'm going to give you for the next council
Okay.
meeting. A couple of them, I think, one is for the ambulance medical building for Coastal,
Okay.
which they call that, I always laugh with Melissa, they call that the good transfer.
right, that's the one where, because
yeah.
it's bringing in, means we're getting more.
Right, that one you're going to, you'll get at the next council meeting. And then I have, I believe, 3 that are going to come out of enterprise. 2 are capital, and 1 is personal service, but those are out of water and sewer enterprise. So you will get 4 at your next,
We should try.
oh, 5, 1 from Melissa.
6.
What are we
Who's
doing
the
on the
sixth one
14th?
from?
What departments?
14th, we are
Oh,
going,
right.
we are going to do general government, which is a long one, employees, benefits, and CPA.
Well, we should approve these. My thinking is we should approve these that night, 6 of them, so that we can set a public hearing for the next
To
meeting.
get those done before the first meeting in June. You're saying the last meeting in May. I don't know if there's time.
There's another meeting in May, so
2 in May, right?
when you get these, here's a thought, Dan. When you get these next week, when we have the council meeting, you set public hearing.
That night. And then I
So that
could
we're
do it
not
at
doing them
the,
all on the night, June 1st.
then we could do them that last meeting in.
Right, and we have to.
And if
approve
there's
them.
a problem with any of them, we can always continue the
It
ones
means
that
that
are-
May 14th meeting is a long meeting.
Right. That sounds like a plan. As I said, if there's a
But
problem with any of them.
they don't seem controversial. I mean, what's your?
Well, one of them is a big one. One of them is going to be for the police contract. Not a big one, but I mean, it's not just a typical.
How could we
in and
not
out.
pay them?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll deal with it.
Well,
Retros.
okay. But is that also the June 1st, or is it past that?
To do it first.
So, yeah, it'll cover us through June
July
30th.
1st.
Actually,
Right.
though.
The new monies are anticipated in the July 1st.
But you have the budget, you are covering the,
Yes.
for next year
Yes.
on the current contract, even though you're negotiating a new
Yes.
contract.
Okay.
No, they're only 2 years out, so they have another year to go.
Oh, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah, they're only 2 years out.
And also that first meeting in June, Dan, we've consolidated the wording on a lot of the
Yeah.
budget. So it doesn't take, thanks to Melissa, and we've got some advanced copies of them. I mean, obviously the figures could change if something goes wrong, but that didn't take as long as in past years. So I mean, we could always,
Depends on how much.
if we
have
need
to
an extra-
read. I mean,
Right.
sometimes
Yeah, no,
I
it's much
wonder.
it's much shorter.
It's much
Right,
shorter.
that's what I said. So I think we could do
Because
something after that if we
don't
had
have that little
You know,
breakdown
if we needed an
Well,
extra
if she has more in May,
to. Right.
at the second May meeting, then we'll have to.
That's why I said if we have one or two that we have.
Because all of these have to be approved before the July 30th.
It's too late.
Well,
They
you
said they'd
could, you
do
could get
another
some, if
meeting.
I approve them, if we approve them in June, they come out of this year's budget, right?
Right.
I mean, if you have some.
Hopefully we
Some free
won't.
cash
I think
later.
this is anything that we can think of.
Can I ask a question? If you have free cash remaining, does that become free cash again? What happens to it?
Well,
It's certified?
First of all, we
Certified
first
and
of all,
documented.
we
We're not
don't
gonna
have
have it.
much.
Well, no, I'm just curious.
well, yeah, so basically, free cash is what's available in your fund balance, and fund balance is whatever money you
Haven't
didn't
used.
spend, you know, money, whatever revenues that you made greater than what you spent. So what part of free cash is any prior year free cash that rolls over.
So it rolls
Yeah.
over, that's what I want.
Right.
But it doesn't really roll over, you know, it's sort of, all of it's part of fund balance, and then when you get free cash, it's like, well, you have X amount in fund balance, but you can't use all of it because these 3 grants haven't come in, and you need to account for this,
But
or
what I
whatever.
guess what I'm trying to say is if you have free cash that you haven't used, it doesn't disappear, but you can't use it until the new free cash is
That's correct.
certified.
Right,
You can't
because-
touch it until September or
Right,
October
because
when it's.
what they immediately take off of is any deficits you might have. So in case, you know, we didn't get a transfer through in time and there was a deficit in an account at the end of the year, it
It's gotta be
immediately
right.
gets sucked.
DOR does all that. Okay. Nothing else?
I think that's it. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Andy.
File.
We see if they,
See what I do well with this.
you may
is I
have to get up there,
click
Dan, and shut it off, because it's not shutting off either. I will send Kathy,
That was a 21-minute meeting. Holy cow.
thank you, Barbara. I'll shut it off, I know how, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, these are not as bad as some of the past ones that were really hard, but, yeah, I always like to go through and see if I recognize anybody. There's Frank Stas's
Have
Market.
you seen this?
Yeah, this is.
Yeah.
How is
So
it?
these, you have
Same as
two
last
different
year.
ones, one on the.
Yeah, yeah,
Same
well,
as last
that's what we do now, too.
This is the.
What does that mean?
You know, it just
Same
makes
as
it so
last year.
easy.
Yeah.
You know, when you don't touch the records at all. and-
Okay.
That's really nice.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Melissa, thanks, Barbara.